for salaries, then you have to make sure that you comply with these 4 conditions. There's new certification language. I will go ahead and leave that for everyone to read on their own time. But I will just point out that last sentence, that I'm aware that any false, fictitious, fraudulent information or the omission of any material fact may subject me to criminal, civil, or administrative penalties for fraud, false statements, false claims, or otherwise. Really fun statement we get to add to everyone's voucher request forms. I'm sure everyone's excited to be signing off on those. Who's our finance people in here? A couple people? Yep. So good times there. A couple other changes on conferences. We have this new language beyond the non-federal entity. No one's really sure what that means. If it means that you can't charge a conference unless you are just, providing information outside of your own entity, outside of your office. Your guess is as good as mine. Also, there's this idea, one of the themes that they mentioned, COFAR mentioned as being a theme of this, is family friendliness. And so costs related to identifying but not providing dependent care resources are now an allowable charge to federal funds. Go figure. And travel costs, only if consistent with your travel policy, you can sometimes charge dependent care costs above and beyond regular dependent care that directly result from travel to conferences. So if you have a local policy that allows for reimbursements for dependent care costs consistent with these federal requirements, then you could also apply that policy to your federal funds and possibly cover some dependent care costs. Any questions on some of those specific items of cost? Okay, we're doing pretty good on time. I've got about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and we've got just one last section on audit, and it won't take me very long. It's not a ton of change. So our current single audit threshold is $500,000. It's being bumped up to $750,000. So unless you, and that's if you expend that amount, then you would be required to get a single audit. And it's not just Perkins funds, it's all of your federal money combined, right? All federal money combined. The Federal Awarding Agency, this is that cooperative audit resolution section I mentioned before in the definitions part. Again, I just want to highlight that it's the use of audit follow-up techniques which promote prompt corrective actions and, trust and understanding. It's a very kumbaya experience, right? The biggest advantage for cooperative audit resolution is that traditionally in the past, it has resulted in less monetary exposure. So when you enter into a cooperative audit resolution process, a lot of times you can either reduce or kind of forget about those question costs and instead focus altogether about all the wonderful corrective actions you're going to make. And that's it, right? I kind of blew through it, so I appreciate you guys. And I know it's late and you guys have done 2 days, but I will hang around for a few questions. My contact information is on the cover page. So if you do not want to ask a question in the group, or if you need a citation or a link or anything, just feel free to shoot me an email. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. She has a question. Okay. I don't know how to turn this on. Yeah. Eric?
I want to remind you all, please, to complete your evaluation for today. It's the green sheet that was handed to you during registration. And just leave it on the table for us, please.
Bonnie, thank you. Thank you for coming in. Okay. So looks like quite a few people already scattered on out of here.